Welcome, Patty Duke, G.G. Johnson. Welcome to you and thank you for coming through.
Hey, Gigi. Hey, Patty Duke. Always a pleasure. And to the other people in the balcony, please make sure you hit the thumbs up on your way in, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Very much appreciated.
So, welcome to another episode of Politics and Wellness. I am your host, Captivating Christian, and
MrCredentialed.
right. and cool. Nice to see you, Lynn T. Welcome, Haitian Queen. Welcome to you too, Shay Johns. Welcome. It's always a pleasure to see you all. So once again, we are here another Tuesday on some good news.
Yes.
On some good news in the, I wouldn't even say political arena, but I guess since they cape for him so hard, I guess I can include them in this. But
Okay.
Fox News has done away with yours truly. Goodness gracious. So Silk and Diamond, I guess that's their thing. They have been removed from Fox News for basically talking about giving Donald Trump like advice on the coronavirus and all that kind of stuff. So Fox News has pulled them from the lineup. Interestingly enough, they they say the same stuff the president says. So if you're gonna pull them, why don't you pull the president? But
yeah, let's see.
When use a different shade, you can't do everything that everybody else.
No.
Hey Rico, how you doing? Welcome, Smart Show. Welcome, Enjoy Life. How you doing? And I know somebody else came in here, but yeah.
Same. Welcome everybody.
Right.
So their screen, well, their stage name is polyester, well, Silk, and because I'm thinking when I looked at them, like
Polly
that's
and
more like polyester.
No, it's Polly and Esther. That's just what they look like.
Zirconia.
They look like Polly and Esther, two twins, just a mess. Itchy and scratchy. But yeah, Itchy and Scratchy has been removed. For me, it's bittersweet because I do not like. I don't mind people having a different view politically.
Right.
Even our own people. I think
Right.
that's healthy. We should all, we shouldn't just follow blindly. We should all have standards and things that we. Cool. That part I get.
Right.
However, this political climate, this particular man, come on, like your party, whatever, cannot be that strong to where in which you see the bigotry firsthand. You are witness to it. You out there campaigning for the man. He didn't want to pay you. Y'all was sitting there in court trying to get paid for the time that you campaigned for him in 2016. And that was like, I think, was it 18 when they were in court over that? I think it might have been 18 or 17, but I'm pretty sure it was like 18. You trying to get money that you were owed when you was campaigning for the man. So, I mean, I don't get it. Some people, and I get the money, and the notoriety from the right wanting to make you the face of, look, see, we're friendly. We have black friends in our party. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just can't. But, a lot of people will deem themselves or lower themselves just to get a piece of the spotlight, which I think is unfortunate. Hey, Queen Diva, how you doing? Which I think is highly unfortunate. But what can you say? But mentally, on a mental health kind of thing, because I thought this would be a good thing, what would make a person like? I know there's many things, but what would make somebody do that? I'm curious.
What would make somebody do what? Be specific so I can make
Almost
sure.
like, I mean, it's a few things. I could say almost trade on your race, but I mean, we could know that for the reason why that possibly.
Well, yeah. A lot of times people feel like when they feel like their race is shunning them, maybe it was maybe lack of popularity in school or lack of popularity in the workplace, so they go where they're accepted. And
Mm,
if being accepted means moving on to a different race, then so be it. I mean, that
mm,
happens in a dating scheme as well. You know,
right.
you get feel like you're not getting what you want, or like certain races have certain stigmas that come with them, and that's all you're getting from them. So you want to move on to something else, and you just think that the grass on the other side is greener,
Right.
and
That's
it's
right.
and that's really just not true. So it's the same thing with anything. We think that by trading that we are going to find something new and turn over a new leaf. Or sometimes we want to re-identify ourselves,
Right. Right.
to someone who, just may not think much of us at all. So we're going to make them think of us highly by the things we do and say. So
Right.
they think anyway.
Yeah, I get that too.
Yeah.
I definitely get that. Yeah, so that's some good news.
Yeah.
Deserves a
Yeah.
good celebration because I am happy about that. Now, hopefully, they can disappear completely. I mean, I know they started on YouTube because that's how they became famous. So they will probably continue their YouTube.
Hmm.
Um, who knows if he will have them on his reelection campaign.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And then with all this new normal that we may have to do, they may not be able to even join him. So who
Right.
knows?
Right.
Who
Yeah.
knows? Who knows? Who knows? Um, let's see what else. That was it for that part. So I can switch it over to you, sir.
Okay. So, on the lighter note, since we're starting off on the lighter note, I was speaking to one of my doctors today, and she asked me how I was feeling, and I
Mhm.
thought this would be funny to bring this in to our live or whatever. I told her I was feeling revved up and broke.
Right, that
And
part.
she said, "Well, what do you mean?" She laughed about it at first. She said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, I'm revved up because I have energy compressed because I can't really go too many places and do too many things. That's
Right.
one. And then I'm feeling broke because I keep spending money,
Hmm.
searching for things, finding things, buying things that are needed or that you think are going to be out of stock, and just being proactive. So every time I look up, I'm spending money. So the answer to the question, if anybody wants to know how I'm feeling rubbed up and broke. Um, so that's just on a funny note. But on a serious note, I want to speak on confidence.
Mm.
Confidence looks different for everyone, and confidence is often we're not able to code switch with it. We may be confident at work, and we portray this portrait of ourselves, and then
Hmm.
when we come home, we lose that confidence because our confidence is connected to certain things.
Right.
So when speaking on confidence, I want to say, to be confident in who you are without needing validity from other people.
Hmm.
Because the validity from other people will come and it will go. So what happens when those things go? If that car, or if that house, or that relationship, excuse me, makes you feel confident,
Hmm.
what happens when it goes? So build your confidence from the
Right.
inside versus the attachment to things.
Right.
It's nothing wrong with, because I think we get attached to people who do things to us who make us feel good or whatever the case is, but
On the
make sure
inside.
that,
No, I said you said make us feel good, and I thought about that beloved joke we always say, make you feel good, Paul, be on the inside.
yeah, yeah. Just do things that make you feel good. I encourage people to build themselves up and get
Right.
close to themselves and know who they are before they go attaching themselves to other people, because you go finding confidence or searching for things that make you feel good in other people, which is nothing wrong with, but not don't let that be your foundation.
Right. Yeah, very true. I've always been raised like a detachment from material stuff. It's like, yeah, you could get it, but don't let that define you.
Right,
And
right,
I
right,
think
right.
a lot of times we get these things, material things, even down to education, sometimes not just for the simple fact of being educated, but have everything to do with I feel better about myself because I have all this. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? It's just
right.
like you hang your hat on it so proudly, um, that I think sometimes can be a bit of an issue.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Sometimes there are people, I don't know if this is attached to a certain personality type, it can be, but we're going to leave that because that's too broad to cover tonight. Some people do throw themselves into things like, people who are always in the gym.
Right.
They gotta show you, they gotta flex, they gotta show this, they
Right.
gotta show that. They're hiding something. What is in the eye of that person or maybe the beholder?
Right.
But the overachiever, I got my bachelor, now I need my PhD. Now
Right.
the PhD isn't good enough, so now I need something else. They're always seeking something to validate themselves,
Hmm.
and it's not healthy. And if you pay attention to those kind of things in people, you don't need to be a psychologist or a psychiatrist to see it. Just start studying
Right.
things in people.
Yeah.
Um, they're everywhere, including on YouTube, and that's no shade, but I'm just saying these people are everywhere. You just have to look and pay attention. But it's definitely a thing for someone to attach to some themselves to something to make them better.
Right. Very true. Um, Real quick, welcome to those of you who come in the room. Melissa Scott, TC. Yes, it is. I am he, the frankincense and myrrh. Yeah,
Uh,
thank you for
DC
coming.
said, I think a lot of people are suffering from being alone with their thoughts. Reflection is scary for some people.
Mhm.
TC, it is. It is a lot of people are scared of their own thoughts, but just imagine if they got comfortable with their own thoughts, if they did it more often and got
Right.
distracted from the world, how much better we could be from the inside out if we got comfortable with who we are and what we think.
Right.
I
Right.
agree with that. It is common for people to be scared of what they think.
Hmm.
And and again, not just because I'm about therapy, I believe that that's the point where you need to go. If your thoughts are taking you to a place that's uncomfortable and your
Right.
psyche is changing, it's time to talk.
Yeah, it's time to talk to someone. And it's nothing, we have such a phobia of that, or, oh, you crazy. And it's just like, no,
No,
you just need, you need somebody, an outsider, a lot of times to help you shuffle through your feelings and shuffle through a lot of things and situations that you have gone through that
right,
have, in many instances, have you choosing different paths, um, also have you dealing in different things as far as situations and relationships and all types of things, and then you always question, well, why am I always finding these people? Why do I always find myself in this type of relationship, be it
right.
friendship or whatever? And sometimes, you got to get down, as the old people would say, you got to get down to the root of what it is,
Right.
in order
The
to,
root.
right.
But that's true. If we spend so much time covering things up instead of getting to the root of the problem until you pull it, it's gonna always keep growing. It's gonna always get you on the other end. So until you deal with it and pull that root out, you're gonna always go back to it, whether you realize it or not.
Mm-hmm. I've always been confident in my intelligence.
Welcome, sincerely yours,
Intelligence.
and somebody else came
That is
through that I
definitely
missed.
a fact, Patty Duke. That's why I shined.
Say it again.
No, what Patty Duke said. That's why I
Oh,
just highlighted.
I've always been confident in my intelligence. I'm complimented on my looks, but my intelligence is more.
Mhm.
Patty Duke, you just said a mouthful. I could just shut the live down after that.
Right.
That is so, so.
The
True, Patty.
doors of the church are open.
They're closed. We don't need to open them now.
Right,
But that is so so true, Patty Duke. I wish that so many people realize the beauty that is inside of themselves,
right,
and other people won't see it sometimes until you realize it. And even if they do see it, you won't believe them until you do something to pull it out of yourself. And a lot of people also think that it's too late. Oh, I'm 40, I'm 50. And no, if you don't do the work, it doesn't matter what age you are. The work needs to be done for you
right.
to really reach your full potential and unlock those doors.
Yeah, that's
So,
very true. It's very, very, very true. Oh, we have a question on the floor.
serious question. People always laugh when I'm serious because I'm so blunt with my opinion, but they think that I am joking. I try not to come off so hard.
And the only reason
Uh,
why I'm laughing is because people do the same thing. And
you
then
know,
sometimes it's hard for them to tell if I'm serious or if I'm joking. They'd be like, "Wait, are you serious or you joking?" Oh no, I'm serious.
Lindsay, the same thing happens to me. Okay, no joke. Put all jokes aside. I do have the only advice I can say is to just be you. And the more that you show them who you are, they'll begin to see it. They'll get accustomed to it and things like that. Because Cap and I go through this. Like, I'll say something, he'll bust out laughing. I'm like, no, but I was so serious. Why is that funny? Did I
Right.
miss the joke? Like all of the
Seriously.
time, we've known each other for umpteen years, and
Team.
I just have learned to understand that how I see things and how I hear myself is not how other people see and hear me. And it's not offensive when they take it the other way. But at the end of the day, I think for people to laugh, they realize the seriousness of it, but they appreciate your humor in it.
Hmm.
Because it's like dry humor. So that's the best, just to be, try to get comfortable within yourself with it, because people unfortunately are not going to change. It's going to keep on happening.
Right.
So just
That is
kind of find a comfort zone within yourself regarding that, because it's who you are, it's your personality.
yeah. Um, Welcome to everybody who just came in. Sincerely
Welcome.
yours. Welcome. I did see it. It's okay with the typo. It's quite all right. Uh, Chocolate Capricorn. Welcome. That sounds like some nice candy. Hey, what's up, Rebel?
Hey, Rebel.
What's going on?
Yeah, I agree with you, Lynn. I'm like take it or leave it too, but after a while, like so many people do it, like people laugh at me, and I'm like, "What are you laughing at? I just said like something simple, like, oh, she better have my money. I know that." And people bust out laughing. I'm like, "What? I'm serious." I think that we have more humor in ourselves than we realize, and it just other people just know how to pull it out. So just kind of appreciate the fact they can pull out the humor and help you to laugh about whatever the subject topic is,
Right, right,
subject matter rather is. It is annoying sometimes when there's people you don't know, they're laughing at you and you're like, "What's wrong with you?" Like,
right,
what?
right.
It's an adjustment. I still deal with it all of the time.
I mean, at this point, I've learned to ignore the laughter. Sometimes I laugh at it because I guess if I'm listening to myself, the way it comes, be like, yeah,
Yeah,
that was a bit what you call it, but it was still funny, you know.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
granted, it may have been serious, but it was still
yeah.
funny.
Hey, Auntie Donna, welcome. And
Hey,
I think that Cap and I can both agree that we were raised by people who were like that, with that dry humor. Like they were so serious, like serious as a heart attack, but it was funny. It,
it was more funny to my friends than it was. It was more funny to the outside people because they really thought like, "Oh, your mom's funny. She's cool." Like, no, she's dead serious. Please get
yeah,
your head off her couch because she will embarrass you. Come back and she see you laying on her couch, she will embarrass you, and
yeah,
then I will get um an earful
yeah,
after
yeah,
you leave here. So please,
yeah. One of my grandmother's sayings was always that laugh is going to turn into a cry, because I would always laugh at her because she would be serious, but I would find it funny, and
mm,
the laugh's going to turn into a cry.
yeah,
And So
Left tons of times at my mom, and it turned into things that uh, they're like, "This is really happening right now," but it was funny. I don't.
right.
But yeah, I totally get it. So, moving right along, let's talk about this. Okay, so we do know that many states, unfortunately, have started to get back into reopening.
Yes.
Um, so let's just start with, what do you think about it?
Well, I- part of me,
Do
from a
you,
selfish perspective, let's start with self first. The selfish perspective is excited because so many people are hurting, so many families are hurting, and the economy itself is hurting. So I'm
mm,
excited about the people having some hope restored that they can move on, and some businesses will hopefully be able to get back off of the ground and go back to some normalcy.
mm,
However, the flip side and going back to some sort of normalcy was something with a pandemic that has not been fully brought to its knees or to a plateau of, okay, the cases are staying at not rising, or maybe they're dropping, or maybe they're staying the same, but we're continuing to go up. That concerns me because there's more risk that we're putting ourselves into, with the business owners are being risked, and just the world abroad is being risked, which could then have a trickle down effect, and we could go back into a down spiral.
right.
So that concerns me. I don't think that someone should be, like, any state or any governor or anything like that should be criticized, because I can see why they would want to do it. But
No, maybe one,
yeah, true.
two.
But let's not even start counting. But it's like, if we don't start taking baby steps towards something, how much are people going to have to lose before we make an effort to restore ourselves? Because we'll stay in fear forever.
Mm.
So that's how I feel about it. It's a mixed thing, equal. I think I'm equally 50-50 on it.
Okay. Well, I brought this up because, of course, some civil rights activists as well as some church leaders are urging African Americans to continue to stay at home until there are signs from, I guess the people who are in charge of this pandemic that it is subsiding. So Al Sharpton and his Action Network, along with some others, um, are urging people, especially after uh, Governor Kemp had opened Georgia back up.
Okay.
So it's been really, um, no, I don't know how I mean, I do know how I feel about it. I'll say that. I know how I feel about it because it affects us the most, and we're limited on funding in our neighborhoods just to keep it at a minimum. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't even have the medical equipment in our own neighborhoods to actually combat this. So, yeah, I get it, cabin fever. I get that you want to be out. I get all that, but it just affects us the most. I think we need to just take a step and be like, whoa, I, I may want to go out. I may want to go get my nails done. I may want to do all these things, but right, like Tuskegee, like, what have we learned from the Tuskegee
Yeah.
men when they was, injecting syphilis into a lot of the men um, for experimental reasons,
Right.
and in countless other experiments that they have done on people of color. At this point, and I've said it and I say it again, I feel that it's almost like it's a little genocide going on, and
Yeah.
we need to start waking up a little bit.
Yeah, I can understand that, but not even retracting what I said because I meant what I said. I'm not even thinking about it from people going out and getting their hair cut and their nails done and going out and frolicking around.
That's what.
I'm only huh?
No, I was just saying, quickly, but that's what the people. That's what some people are doing. They're like,
Yeah, that's what people are worried about, but those are the people with the wrong mindset. I'm thinking about the people who are not able to feed their families, who are not able to do anything for themselves because they have lost their source of income, who
hmm
would otherwise be absolutely fine. That's the mindset that I have about it. It's
right,
about opening businesses so that people can go out and have better access to what they need and um, but they need to kind of facilitate because a lot of people, the stores in certain communities are closed
right.
because they can't, and then they can't access. So if we're talking about limited access, we're talking about people who may only go down the street to a certain store, a corner store, whatever, but they can't do that. So now they need to go out further. So it's going to take them more time, and they're not able to get what they need to take care of their family. That's the only concern that I have in this. I'm not worried about people being able to go out and sit and go to the bar and drink and
Or
have
have
a
a house
good time.
party in
Yeah,
Chicago
I,
with 1,000 folks. I mean, come on, that's ridiculous. I,
yeah.
I,
I'm I'm not even. And then again, just because somebody is opening up just because certain states are opening things back up, that doesn't mean go out here and do it. So if you know that you're not safe, why would you go out here? Or if you know it's not safe, why would you go out here and just? Well, they said it's open, so I'm just going. That's foolish.
Mm, it is, but
Don't be a fool. If you know that it's not right, don't be a fool. Let everybody else go and do what they're going to do, but you have to be responsible for you and your family.
yes, and I believe everything you said. This will stress the hospitals, and they're already stressed, but this will definitely put a heavy strain on the hospitals, who already are still fighting for equipment. Um,
Right, right.
you know,
PPE.
you have governors going, like the governor of Maryland, going to um, South Korea to get equipment. And then the president gets mad when he clearly said the week before, hey, it's on you guys to get your own equipment.
Right.
Did it. Are you going to be mad? Why? Because you wanted him to praise you?
Right, right. But we need to listen less to what someone is telling you to do and think more about what you know is right
Right.
for you and your family and for your health. So it's kind of like don't follow the leader, be your own leader.
Right. Yeah. And Brother Nate, I've read that too, that there's possibly more than one strand or even a wave of strands to come that we haven't even, fully seen the end of this.
Right.
So who knows?
Because just the other day, and this is the thing too, we are saying that this affects a certain community the most, but just the other day, Saturday in fact, people, it was like a spring summer day. The cars were going up and down the street like they had so much in the world to
Mhm.
go out and do. What are you doing when it's on lockdown? Everyone is not out here getting essential stuff, so
No,
what are you doing?
some people are just driving around just to have something to do.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, that's
But
very
still,
interesting. Very
They
good.
they look like I swear people just seem like they were going on about their business.
Mm,
Like just out, I mean, music bumping, just it was almost like it was rush hour traffic.
mm, yeah. But again, like we said one time before, that it doesn't hit you until it hits a family member, something
Right,
like that. So then it
right.
becomes like, oh, this thing is serious. I told you.
Be serious beforehand. Don't be a victim and don't be a fool.
Right, right,
This is all preventable. All of it is preventable if you take care of yourself.
right. Very true. Very, very true. So,
Do you, they hold on? You have to file for work comp if your job doesn't pay you. Really? Well, how would? Huh? How would that work? Because work comp implies that you were injured from your job. So is that really, or are you referring to unemployment? Because work comp, unless they're doing something different, because they can change a policy in a second.
Right.
But that is weird, 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 weird. And some people are not going to be able to get unemployment because the stipulations for unemployment does not consist of the reason why they're filing. Your job closing may not be a reason versus you losing your job.
Mm,
And I don't know if they've changed that stipulation with the state of everything either. So again, I'm just speaking on prior knowledge. It's not necessarily directly applicable to what's going on right now.
yeah. Hey, Jay Dunn, how you doing? Welcome. Uh,
Hey,
yeah, traffic has increased by 50%.
you know why? Because those checks have came out.
And to that, I have to say, come on, people. So I'm gonna say to that,
Those
ridiculous.
checks have come out, man. It's so crazy.
It's
So
stupid.
so crazy.
Um, yeah, highly infectious state new symptoms. Yeah, I mean we don't know this thing, and that's the thing. Like I need people to get that we don't know it. You got a man sitting up there telling you to drink some cleaning fluid and bleach or whatever else. Take a little cap, and you'd probably be all right. Um, we don't know the ins and outs of this. Um, I don't know if it's made, but I would like to think so. It's my I don't know, but we don't know nothing about it. So
Right.
we need to stop acting like we do and really get a grip. Like because like I've said it and I've said it and I say it again, I'll say it again. Once they felt like they knew who would affect the most,
Mhm.
and no, people will sacrifice a few for a greater cause. So if they gotta sacrifice some of them, oh, that's what I meant to talk about. The governor, Florida, he said out of his own mouth that Florida or nursing homes, because Florida has a huge population of elderly people because that's where they go to retire. It's God's waiting room. And you can't really make this up. God's waiting room. So are they waiting to go to nursing homes? Are waiting rooms for heaven? Okay. The fact that that came out
That's
of
so
your,
ignorant that I can't even address it. It's not even complex enough for me to even deal with it.
but this is the same man that said, "Don't monkey this around," and we supposed to believe that you didn't mean him being a monkey because the man was black.
It's crazy.
Yeah. All right.
Crazy. Welcome, official D Spot.
Hey, what's up, official?
Um, she got sick at work. HR told her they don't pay for time off. So, yeah, well, work comp isn't the thing. It would be unemployment, which the person under the cause of which unemployment exists would not be eligible for it because she still has a job. She's just not getting paid sick time. So if HR isn't doing that, then she probably needs to file for FMLA. Well, FML, Family Medical Leave, and the A is the act, just in case anybody
Mhm.
didn't know. But the process for that is going to be delayed because they have to go through to the doctor and then the whole approval process. But FML still does not guarantee pay. However, they may be able to implement that she get paid because she if she has the time. So that's something I suggest that you have her look into is the family medical leave with the job and the policy and see what they're doing in the state that we're in because that's crazy. It's understandable, but jobs are looking to protect themselves, so they're
Yeah.
doing whatever they can. Sorry, had to make sure my laptop got charged back up. Anyway, they're doing whatever they can to try to cut things.
Right.
and sort out things and sort through things. From a corporate perspective, jobs are being hit just as hard, if not harder, than what they're showing you and how you're being hit, or it's the people being hit. So they're looking for ways to try to navigate through this. And I hope that this information is helpful to you some way or another.
Oh, sorry to hear that, Gigi Johnson. Prayers go out to your friend.
Well, FML will hold her job for her, but it will, if she had that policy that goes underneath of FML, will probably, she's still eligible to get paid. So if she has a sick time bank and they're saying that she can't use it because she's out sick, then FML, the policy should enable her to get payment. But again, we don't know the full story. We only know the part that we're receiving. So I can only give general information. Um, it can be choppy. She
Yeah.
took it home since we do not know who it affects. Stay. Oh, okay. I was reading something. I thought that was a.
Yeah, I'm just going up for
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, TC, you're not the only one worried. I'm worried about anything that can bite, sting, or anything else because you don't know if it got it. Because now you know that your pets can have it too. So yeah,
I
but I know that's being
I
a bit
don't know if I believe that now.
what
Because they said that before, like that a dog had it or something like that. But I believe they probably injected it into the dog.
really?
Yeah, it was when this whole thing first started happening, they were mentioning a dog that had it, but how would the dog get it?
Mm,
And
uh,
everything's like a lab rat.
well, that ain't that's
So
so a lot of our liberties are being violated during this pandemic. Yep, new laws being enacted. Now that is very true. That is very, very, very true.
yeah, yeah. And that's what I mean, Haitian, is that I don't know what different policies are being implemented at different places because of this. So things can change up overnight because I know that some people are telling me of some of the changes that are going on directly with the HR, and
Hmm.
it's about protecting, the job wants to protect themselves and their bottom line. You're just a person out there that brings in some of their money to help secure their bottom line, but they're not really thinking about you, even though they have policies set up to do it. They're not really concerned about you, and they're really not prepared to deal with the mass amounts of issues that are occurring with the employees from this, whether it's illness, whether it's being out, all this stuff. A
Mm.
lot of jobs, hey Sabrina, a lot of jobs don't even have
Hey,
policies for teleworking. Some of them do, but
right.
now everybody is being set up to telework, and they're just having to wing it. You
Yeah.
know, so
But do you think that teleworking will become a new thing now because a lot of offices don't have to pay for the overhead of running a building?
it
Or
depends on how the employees handle teleworking. Because if it's abused and if they realize their productivity is not like it should be and like they expect it to be, I don't think that a lot of jobs will risk it
right.
because that's, again, they're worried about the bottom line. So right now I'm just trying to keep you comfortable, but eventually it's going to get back to the chop. I need you to do, I need you to say, I need you to perform. And if you are too comfortable at home doing it, then it just probably won't happen.
Right. Right. Mm-hmm. I don't
The pets got it from the owners. You
know.
know,
Oh,
uh, this whole thing is so choppy. I would just say, like, I don't even allow my dog to lick me while this stuff is going on because I don't want to run the risk. Don't lick. No,
yeah.
no,
No. Yeah.
no.
No
Uh,
looking in the face. Don't even. Just
yeah. Nick, you do have to be very disciplined
love
to
you.
work from home, and
Yeah.
it's something
You
that
do.
I have to do. So you
Lord.
do have to be very disciplined to
Yeah.
work from home, but it's so second nature to me now, be doing everything from
That
home,
is true. Yeah.
it, school, that whole big thing. But some people are just not even disciplined enough to really keep that job, let alone keep that job from home.
Hmm.
Some of the people that are already at work are already kind of on the half anyway and should be out of the door.
Right. 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 Right.
Coming from the what? Yeah, you know, nobody's is exempt from this, and this is something that we need to keep in mind. Even though it is affecting a certain community more than others, we need to realize that nobody is exempt. You know.
Excuse me. Right, very true. There's something I did want to talk about. I forgot to talk about last week.
Okay.
Um, and I'm not sure if everybody knows, but the pictures and audio from Andrew Gillum, his whole stint in the hotel thing, that was released. Um,
Mm.
I still think it was a setup.
Come on, people.
I still think it was a setup, and that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Now, I do believe that the man, might have been, and I wouldn't even say a double life because I think his wife probably knew because there are some women who aspire to be first ladies. You know what I'm saying? And they um, kind of dive into that whole thing, and sometimes they know that the husband kind of fiddles around. It's like the House of Cards situation, the show on Netflix, where in which the lead character used to mess around with his buddy in college. We didn't know that till you seen it, and you were like, oh. But the wife knew it, but it was like unspoken.
Right.
The Candace Owens setup. And you go, oh, really? I don't know. But part of it, and that's what I was about to say, part of it can be a setup once they know, if somebody knew that he did like men or occasionally
Dibbled and
dabbled, that's all it took.
Jingled and jangled.
That's all it took.
Right.
That is all it took. And then the rest of it was just done. So I just, yeah, I do too. Global Tour. I love House of Cards.
Yeah.
Like Kevin Spacey couldn't keep his hands to himself because it's not the same with Claire being the.
Yeah, I had to educate myself on the full situation because I'm not privy on it, so I can't come with a full blown opinion about something that I don't know the whole story to. So I'll be honest about that.
Oh, cool. I mean, no worries. He was actually he ran for the governor of Florida back in 18. Yes,
Okay.
2018. He did lose, but that whole votes ain't counted here. They were supposed to turn over their votes at a certain time. They wind up being late. Just messy. That's all I can say. Messy.
Right.
Where in which, even though they recounted the votes and still said that he was whatever, I still think it was a bit messy. Yeah. So, with that, he just became he was a CNN commentator for a while, political commentator. Then he did a show with like April Ryan. They did a morning show and a few other people. I think Angela Rye was also in the mix of this show.
Okay.
He was kind of, putting his face out there. Now, rumor has it that Biden may have been looking at him, or other people may have been looking at him to either be a running mate or cabinet. And maybe this is why this has come out, to kind of push him out of the way. So I don't know. But
yeah, it's never a mystery when someone drops something about someone. It's always a motive behind it. Because if it wasn't, they wouldn't expose it.
Yeah, that is very true.
To be honest with you, it's very common. It's to ruin the person.
Yeah.
The same thing with the things that you see on YouTube is to try to ruin the person and take the person out.
Right. Especially in politics. And I think here lately, it's become like really, really bad. Like it started with, for me, and I know there's some people older than I, so you got it. Uh, I only read about Watergate and the other things, of course, in history.
Right, right.
But what I witnessed was like the Monica Lewinsky thing and all of that, and I was just like, okay, I don't see the big deal. Like, I mean, if anybody should be mad, it should be his wife. But okay,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like that's where I was with that. But and actually, by the way, she passed away. Not Monica Lewinsky, but Linda Tripp.
Really?
The woman who actually started the whole thing. She was nothing but a nosy coworker.
How you gonna say she passed away and then like almost like good she gone?
No, but I mean, like, that's what's her claim to fame. She was a nosy coworker. They used to talk and gossip, and she told her about the little office rendezvous with the president, and then she started recording the conversations and wind up, turning it over to not only Ken Starr, but media as well, and this whole thing. So she became known. But yeah, that's how she began. But sorry that she has, because I think she passed from cancer.
Okay.
That's sad. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day,
You know what? There you go again.
I mean,
Like life lost is the life lost, but yeah.
I mean, I ain't say. I'm just saying. What was you mad because he didn't pick you? Who would? I mean, she was huge.
Yeah. We gonna
Shut up. So, anyway, you can go.
so with everything going on and considering that this type of stuff that we're talking about, see how people's mind just goes. I'm not gonna point left because I always point the wrong way, but goes left.
You're wrong. Thank you.
Yeah, right. So I want to speak on taking time to regroup and make sure that your thoughts and your actions are in line with your goals because sometimes your thought process could be the very thing that's holding you back. You
Mhm.
know, sometimes we need to get on the higher plane with thinking so that we can grow because you can't think the same way if you want to grow. So, hey, just
Right.
so you gotta
Or,
kind
hey,
of
just.
do things to get yourself in a different on a different plane, and really, if I'm thinking this way, why? What
Mhm.
caused me to think that way, and really pay attention to yourself and to really ground yourself because right now is the most important time because all you have time to do is really sit with yourself. And if you're
Right.
not sitting with yourself now, then I don't know when you will. Because I got more time to think about me and look at me than ever right
Right.
now.
Right. If there was
So
ever a moment where the self affirmations, and even if you have sticky notes to put it around the house and, little quotes and sayings, this is a perfect time.
right, right. And I believe in self affirmations. Don't get me wrong. I've even posted stuff about self affirmations on my page, but I do believe that people can hide behind self affirmation because it's something that you just begin to speak. But if you stop saying it and then you lose sight of what needs to be done, it makes me question: have you done the work? You know what I mean? So if an affirmation of yours is "I can win, I can win, I can do this, I can win," but if you're not doing anything, putting anything behind that, you need a foundation to stand on so that you can win.
Right.
So I think that it's more than just the affirmation. Use the affirmations to build yourself up, but
Right.
don't just use affirmations just to tell yourself things to think positively. Do things to get positive results.
Right. Very true. True, true, true. Right. Something I missed in the chat.
But yeah,
Let's see. I did find something else. Oh, well, in other political news, um, as we know, the Republicans have tried for 7 long years to stop the Affordable Care Act, otherwise known as the Obamacare, which
right.
he didn't name it that. They tried to name it so. But finally, the Supreme Court has put a stop to it. And actually, they may have to, the government will be will have to pay a lot of insurers people back in probably about $12 billion.
Wow.
Yeah, so this should be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because of course, the Supreme Court is stacked more conservative, so that was a big like, oh, uh-oh. Um,
Yeah.
that made everybody's turn a little bit and go, wait a minute, what just happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. But then again, it could just be. I'll wait.
Yeah.
I'll wait.
I
But
think wait
that
is
is,
necessary.
yeah, that is good news though, because of course, um, although they was trying to stop the the Affordable Care Act, all they wind up doing by deregulating it and changing some things, but didn't have anything to combat it. They wound up making it a mess, to the tune of where in which people were paying. The insurance was paying a lot less, and the people were paying a lot more.
Right.
So the Supreme Court 8-1 said, no, 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 we can't. You can't do that. Justice Sotomayor was definitely in her statement. They all give statements, written statements. In her statement, she said we shouldn't do, as a people and as a nation, we shouldn't do this. We shouldn't treat our citizens like that. So yeah, now, I don't know how that's going to roll out.
Yeah.
You're going to get another check with somebody's face on it.
Well, that's the thing. What's the point of that was what I didn't understand when it's being directly deposited. So your face on it is doing what?
Or your
When
name.
majority
Well,
is
but
being directly
your name on it, because we just had a discussion about this yesterday. Funny you should ask. Is to put his name on it was just so when you almost like somebody saying, well, don't forget I gave you that, like, don't forget,
right.
remember I gave you this thing. And it's just like it's not coming out of your pocket. You aren't even supposed to be able to sign it anyway or put your name on it, because that's why the government is ran this way, to where in which the president cannot personally put his name on anything that's, as far as financially, that is coming out of the government, even
Right.
though he is on top of it. He cannot involve himself with that. But of course, when you put your flackies in those positions, they will just say, oh, okay, we'll let you put your name on it. I mean, for him, his name is everything. It's all about a branding thing. So I think it's a bit.
How many more months of suffering do we have left?
Please, let's not even get into that. Of course, they still keep bringing back up, trying to push this election back. And again, although it is talked about, that's going to be a tough sell, because they have to have all of Congress with a particular large margin vote
Right.
to get that pushed back. Now, they are talking about doing mail-ins and all that kind of stuff. I'm a little weary about that, just like I'm a bit leery about if they start talking about oh, you can vote from your phone. Excuse me, hell no, I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it. So Russia could sit there and definitely take the vote. Nope. No, thank
Right.
you.
Right.
Think you'd be all hacked in your stuff. No thanks.
Yeah, I'm glad we see eye to eye on that, Armand, because that's all I'm saying. I know that we have different stipulations, but the fortunate thing is there's hope, because we do not know what's going to happen with this virus between now and then.
Well,
So
I just need them to keep Joe Biden in the basement until everything is free and clear. Okay, keep Joe in the basement.
yeah.
But the question is, who will he pick? They are pushing for him to not pick a white woman, but to pick an African American woman.
Time will tell.
Yeah, and then whom will he pick? Whom
Right.
will it be?
Right.
Stacey Abrams has put in her bid. She said she would be honored. Of course, he's looking at Kamala Harris as well. And I mean, if he doesn't, let's not get caught up in the semantics of that either. If he doesn't, he chooses somebody else, but he happens to put more people of color in the cabinet. All right, let's.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we can't do this because this is crazy. You already see what has happened at this point. We are sitting in our homes because of something that could have been avoided that he felt it wasn't important, or that's over there. That has nothing to do with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
You
know.
know, something looking at what TC said, like he signed on behalf of the people. I got a letter in the mail the other day, and I'm sure other people got it too.
Mhm.
But from it said something something IRS. I'm like, man, what's going on? Because you see IRS, you can't play around with that. It's
Right.
a daggone letter from Trump saying that by now you should have gotten your check, yada yada. You want to be acknowledged so bad. I
So
don't recall when Obama sent out
no.
those stimulus checks getting a letter there after confirming it and just signing up. What was the point?
Uh,
Other than a self-fulfilling action. What did we get from that? If we got it in our checking account or however you got it,
right.
we don't need your secondary follow-up about it.
Right. Right. Well, no, it's to keep. It's to keep. It's like how media does. It's to keep, like, oh, you know what? You remember I did this. Remember I did this. I gave you those things. And to be very clear, he didn't give you any money. All I did was go into your own savings account, because that's what you do when you pay your payroll tax and all that stuff, and any taxes you've ever paid. And they just went back in there and said, okay, here's some money for you. Here's some money for you. Here's some money for you.
Say it again for the people in the back.
He didn't give you anything.
Because you have to understand that when you're being given something, it's coming from somewhere, and you pay taxes. So
Right.
that's why when people get all excited about a tax refund, it's like, why are you happy?
Right. It's your money back. It's your money. And you get what how the thing goes.
Right.
It's my money and I want it now. Same thing. Hey, what's up, Ness No Mess? Hey, Miss Craig, how you doing?
Hey, Ness.
How you doing? How you doing? Welcome, welcome. Nice to see you. But yeah, so it's just crazy. I don't know. I mean, we I don't know. All I know is vote. I don't care how you vote, just vote. Don't waste it either. Please don't waste it. If a third person really does join this party, of these two, from the incumbent president Joe Biden, and if somebody else picks that third slot, please don't do it. It's a throwaway vote. Please don't do it.
Yeah.
Just vote. I know it's going to be different. I don't know what it's going to look like. I can't say. Not motivated to vote. I know that's no mess. A lot of people can say that they're not motivated to vote, but sometimes you just have to look at it as far as this should be motivation enough. I mean, we are sitting here right now because of a leader who did not lead, who does not choose to lead. And then every time somebody's, kind of holding him to it, he wants to, scapegoat and give it to the media. Oh, the media hyped it up. Yo, we're at 1 million confirmed cases.
Right.
1 million.
Right.
Here, not the rest of the world. Just here. We've just hit the 1 million mark.
Right. Right. That's no mess. I know that's how it feels because I often feel that way, but your vote really does count. It does make a difference. Your one vote can make the difference as to who wins and who doesn't. So even though it's not an encouraging thing to do in this time, I still think that you should. I know that you should still do it, even if you don't feel like it. I really encourage you to do it because the future depends on you.
Yeah, and they're doing everything they can to take it away from you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you don't use it, they will gladly take it from you.
Yeah.
And when
people
Mhm.
died for that.
That's
Right.
what we say all the time.
You
I
know.
mean, and that's just, it is what it is. I mean, I know we like to remove ourselves from our history and ancestors and all that stuff, but like I
Look
tell people
around.
all the
We ain't
time,
that far removed.
if you feel your vote doesn't count or you don't want to vote, all right, cool. Go tell that to the people that died so you can vote. And you wait for them to tell you, oh, okay, I'll stand by your decision.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
okay.
right. So, Ness, how do you know for sure? The- I will say that you know for sure because we were able to get our first black president into the office. That's how you know for sure. Because I'm not saying that that was about a certain ethnicity's vote. I'm just saying that there's power in your vote. You know, people didn't think that that would ever happen. So
Hmm.
if people got out there and voted like they did when it was Obama's running term,
Hmm.
that's how you would see the power in the vote. So you may not feel like you're empowered to do it, but you have been empowered by the people who died for it, you know?
Right.
So keep that in mind when you go to the poll. Just think about the fact that somebody couldn't do it at one point, you
Right.
know?
Somebody did this, somebody sacrificed their life so you could vote.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so, in that respect alone, you should vote.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. You
and
know,
it's not just to you; it's to anybody who's thinking about, wavering about voting.
right,
Somebody sacrificed their life so you could vote. So,
right,
out of respect for that alone, that's what you should do in reference.
right,
Um, but what I was about to say, too, yeah, and let's be very clear: a lot of both sides, others on both sides, thought that man running Obama was like a joke. Like, oh, this will be fun, like an experiment. Let's do this and see, Um, but come to find out, they seen massive voter turnout, and it was like, oh, like wow, okay,
right,
and it made both sides nervous. I'm sure because there are Trumps in the Democratic Party too. Please don't get it twisted. There are Trumps in the Democratic Party just like Trump is in the Republican Party. But um, again, we have to keep pushing to make sure our voices are heard, and your
right,
voice will not be heard if you don't enact it.
right,
So you have to do that. And yeah, you could sometimes you got to crawl before you walk. So if you never really paid attention to politics or getting involved in any of that, look around in your communities and your neighborhoods and stuff that you can do there. Like
right, right,
this, the presidential is it's big, and again, you should always vote. But
right,
this is big. But you can do great things where you live.
right,
You can
right,
change your whole communities. This whole gentrification thing is happening because we don't pay attention. We don't do what we need to do.
right,
Say, hey, no, ain't having that. No, I don't. Why do we have to have all these liquor stores? We got liquor stores and churches, yet more drunks and ain't too many people saved. And then the churches that they do have, they going around talking about, here, give us your stimulus money. Hmm? For what?
yep,
You can go down and fill out grants and get money for the government for your church. So what do you need my funds for?
right.
What you gonna say? All you need to say is you got a soup kitchen, a food pantry, some drug program or something. Bam.
Right, right, right. And that is true, but I'm looking at the comments, I'm kind of split. But that is true. But I'm thinking about another thing toward National Mess. Okay, so they sent out of there's voting going on in our district right now here in Maryland. And they sent out a ballot that you mail
About
in.
yeah.
So it says on the thing that you do not have to vote in every election. If it wasn't important or something that was vital for you to do, why would they need to put that? Because it's obvious that it's not required for you to do it. But why would you encourage that so somebody can just throw it in the trash?
Right. Right.
So what when somebody's trying to take something from you, you have to think what are they really trying to take?
Right.
And the price of what they're trying to take
It's
and
great.
it's
It's
great,
great.
but it also depends on how you see it,
Right.
how what it means to you. If
Right.
you have kids, what it means to them. If you have little sisters or brothers, what it means to them.
Hmm.
So they're trying to take something from you, but your vote may seem like, oh, I'm just not going to vote, but you're doing so or not doing so is going to be far greater than you typing in the button or shading in the dot.
Right.
So
Very
don't try not to be fooled by that. I know it's difficult. I'm not even telling you because I feel the same way you do. But Cap and I have had this conversation years ago about, yeah, I don't feel like it, and I had to get my mind together because I was with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's definitely it's it's definitely important. I mean, it is at this point, it is gravely important. Like it's no joke. Things are still happening. Laws are being enacted. Some laws that protect us are kind of being swept under the rug, and they're using the pandemic to make sure. I mean, let's be very clear. If people continue to do those things like that party in Chicago and all that kind of stuff, would it wouldn't take but a moment for him to have the National Guard coming down and only patrolling areas of color. And then what will that do? Create because of then of course it'll be people fighting against fighting against that. It would create a whole heap of things. So I
Right.
think that we need to definitely pay attention to what's going on, be a little more mindful, focus, find out about the candidates.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you even asked me who am I voting for. I mean, as of right now, there are only two candidates: Joe Biden and Donald Trump, and I'm not voting Trump. So you can
Yeah.
take the assessment there.
Right.
Um,
And that just makes it easier right now, but that
right,
could change. It's
right, and not for nothing. I mean, he's a bigot. He's a racist. I'm neither of those things. I mean, it's nice that he, got the the grandmother sentence commuted, but there's far more people incarcerated, still waiting for their time in court because they couldn't afford bail. Maybe if he did something like that, probably would be, a little bit more like, oh, that was a nice thing. But what he did was just for the cameras and things because another fellow celebrity was pushing this. So let's not get it twisted and get all caught up in that.
yeah. Yeah.
So, and don't
Yeah.
get me wrong, I will say this: the other party does, take us for granted too. But this is a great time to make sure that no, I'm gonna make sure that hey, you want my vote, you're gonna work for it. I want to see these things. I need to
Right.
see stuff in your platform that affect my community. I need to see the wage gap and what you're gonna do to change it. I need to see increase in wages and how you're going to enact that. I need to see funding for schools
Right.
and how that's going to affect my community, my streets. I need to see all that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's the same thing you could hold to your local officials as well.
Right. Right.
Do you guys think the stimulus just will sway people's votes? I don't think so. It shouldn't.
Yeah. I don't think so either, unless they are the blind leading the blind.
Mm-hmm.
But I really don't think so because I don't think that is it. With Trump, you can never say what something is or what something isn't, but that should not be taken as a method of, oh, keep me here. Just because I did this, it was necessary for the economy. It's not necessary for his reelection. So I would just would hope that people wouldn't be that foolish to let something so I don't even know the word right now to sway their vote.
Right.
Right.
I
That
get
one little piece of check. And that's no mess, right? Because some people are suffering. That $1,200 went to bills or went to something that they didn't have, and that money is gone.
right. Yeah.
It wasn't extra to some people.
Yeah, I mean that's just if you think about it, we've been in this situation, some people for 2 months, some for a month. Okay, that is just covering. I mean, if you think about all your bills and food and everything, if you can compile that, that may just
Right.
cover for you to catch up or pay off, but then you have another month coming right up on the heels.
Hmm.
So like
clockwork, calendar rolls.
because the bills don't stop because it's as you can
Nope.
see. And then you got to call, and the fact that you have to call your bank or call a place and say, hey, do you mind taking off the monthly fee charge, being that we in this, and then, oh, okay, we'll do it. Why wouldn't you just do it?
Right.
But of course, they'll take your money. They'll
Hmm.
take dollars
Hmm.
or whatever your monthly fee may be. They'll
Yeah.
take it, and I think that that's ridiculous.
Well, Lindsay, they say that it's not counted as income, but I believe that everything at some point that is given to you that you did not earn, even what you earn, you're going to pay on it some kind of way.
Yeah.
It's not free money. I don't care what they say.
No, it ain't free money at all.
Or if it's not something that you're going to have to pay on later, it was something that you've already paid on before. So,
They're giving you your money. Like
yeah,
at some point you've paid into it.
yeah,
At some point you did, and they just giving you your money back. That's it.
yep,
That's it.
that's it. But if the question is if they could do that that one time, imagine how much more they could do to help the economy be better.
And then not only that, um, a lot more people who are wealthier, they're even getting money from this. So it's
Hmm.
just like, now what would you need it for?
Hmm.
I don't know. I just find it to be a bit much.
Yeah, it is a bit much. We're in a twisted spot with twisted people and a twisted economy.
Choke my own because I just can't. I just think about um, looking at that lady's face when he was talking about the bleach. It just popped in my head, and her face was just so like, oh my god, my career is over, my life is over. But that's what happens when at some point you have to stand up, and I
Right.
think that you know. Uh, Having this whole party fight or this party allegiance is cool, but come on, like at some point it's time to really take a stand and say, you know what, no, we can't do this. But anyway, we've come to the time and portion. Anybody have some questions or a question that you may have asked and I don't think we may have missed it? You can ask it now. So yeah, we could do that for a quick second.
Okay.
I would do the call-ins, but I can't find my other phone.
Oh no, it's fine.
It's probably somewhere around here.
You had it. You've seen it recently.
I've seen it.
Okay. That's what times. That's what measure might be in the pawn shop.
It's what made you pull out the sock puppet because that's no mess. You had that whole ski thing on your face and you looked like a puppet. So I figured that I would talk in Craig's language and talk back so he could understand exactly what I'm saying. But you're very talented. You're very talented. Like you could do voiceovers and everything. Girl, you sitting on a gold mine, girl.
You better dig that gold, make
Right.
that money.
Yeah, but you did look like a whole puppet with that thing you was using to cover up your face. But it was comical. It was funny. It was funny. It's in the chat. My my beautiful people had drop it down for you. Do you think? Let me put this in because one of my relatives said that they didn't know the questions that was being asked because we were just answering them and not posting them on the thing. So,
Oh,
in New York, I think the first responders have appreciated if you. Um, yeah, I mean, Yeah, we get caught up in a lot of symbolism that at the end of the day really doesn't mean anything.
I'm sorry.
Saluting,
Hold on.
uh saluting the first responders, which is a great thing, but come on, these people need protective gear. So why would we spend the money to have these fighter jets flying across to salute them and not just give them the equipment? You could have used that money that you used to gas up them, gas up them jets and do all that to actually get some equipment that these first responders need. And that's even for a lot of the cities and stuff. They doing little tributes and having like fire trucks and all that stuff ride through the hospitals with their sirens blazing and all that kind of stuff, which is great. It's nice, but at the end of the day, we need to be finding ways to get mass to not only first responders but to people who
Right.
can't afford them. We need to be doing more things like that. So instead of using that gas, that city gas, that state gas money for tributes like that, let's save all that fanfare for after. Right now, let's focus on getting the equipment that the people need to stay safe because they are out here every day risking their own lives and time away from their family because they don't want to, you know, and get their families jeopardized
Right.
to save lives. So
Right.
we need
Right.
to put down the fanfare and really focus.
Yeah. Yeah.
What happened? Did you
It's
see?
unfortunate that we're like in times where going to work means risking your life and risking your family's health and well-being.
No, I didn't see the press conference with the small business owners, but I do know that they did just pass that bill. However, even for the small business, Trump himself is trying to get was trying to get a piece of that small business thing because, of course, he has a business in DC. So I don't know, and it won't come out till later because you know how this stuff works. Uh,
Ain't no
if in
fun if Trump can't get none.
right, if in fact they were able to put that in there so it could pass, pass the Senate. So who
Mm.
knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But you will soon because somebody will drop it. Uh, yeah, I mean it's ridiculous. It's like, what are we having a parade for? Why are we having all this when people need masks? Like, do that. Why?
Right.
Well, I mean, granted, yeah, they're doing a great thing. I'm not knocking it. They're doing a great thing, but we don't need to be. We're focusing on the wrong things, like focusing on the wrong things. But you know, so is the American way. As long as you waving a flag and everything else, and having a barbecue, like the people. I want to. We need to be free. Oh, okay, so you go out there and get sick, and then you do contract, and you take it home, and then what you gonna sit and say? Like, just
Right.
keep your behind in the house. If you don't have to go, don't go. And especially for us, I'm just it's too many of.
Don't be biased. Do
lady,
not be biased.
lady told me this morning that she said you seem to hold back, and it's like it's not. I'm not really trying to be like, power to the people and all that kind of stuff. Yes and no, because there's a way you do it.
Right.
The way you do it to get your point across, and the way you do it where you're not isolating
Right.
um,
Right. Right.
uh, other people. But
Right.
you do have to take time and be focused on you and people that look like me. Because if you look around, they focus on the people that look like them. So we need to start focusing on us. Take some time, focus on you. Um, and I like
It's
to
just
focus.
so the promotion of that is just so wrong though.
Yeah, no. But I'm just saying we have to. You have to preserve your. You have to preserve yourself. But I mean, in an overall group, I'm not selfishly talking about. But I'm talking about overall as a people. We do like we need to like get back to example. Prime example during segregation, right?
Hmm.
We had businesses that were black, grocery stores, everything from tailors to grocery stores to food places, everything was just black owned, some white, but mainly blacks because you couldn't go anywhere else. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The only issue that a lot of people had with segregation was the educational portion of it because you, you got handed down books. Sometimes the curriculum in the books was so old that a lot of the teachers who wind up going to college and coming back to teach was using their own books to teach their students. So it was like, hey, we need to that whole separate but equal kind of thing. Like, yeah, we could be separate because we cool, we're working, but we need to have the same equal opportunities as you. Okay. Some places they started to see where we thrive just having everything our own. Black Wall Street. Then you get, oh, okay, no, we can't have this because you're jealous because these people in Florida as well. There's a the whole I don't want to say I don't want to say Roswell, but it's something like that. That movie. Oh God, what is it called? I can't think of it right now. It escapes me, but
Okay.
there's a town in Florida, also a black community that was thriving, and of course, this white woman claimed that the uh, somebody had raped her, but she wound up sleeping with the man. Yeah, there you go, Rosewood. Thank you. Yeah, so it's happened. It's historically documented that it has happened. That there have been very affluent areas. Some people get mad and they figure, oh, they're not better than us. And they take it upon themselves, guns in hand and all, and destroy it. And nobody's held accountable. That's when I see like these militia groups and these little rallies and stuff, they make me nervous because that's just how it all started.
Right. No, I'm not saying that I don't see what you're saying. I don't get it. I'm just saying from the perspective in which I stand that dealing with mental health. If I have a diverse group
Right.
and I have I can't have the people in the group feeling like I'm more geared toward a certain race versus another race.
No,
So
no,
that's why
no.
hmm?
No, I said no. I get that. I was agreeing with it.
So when you sit on the platform in any regard and you kind of vouch for that, I mean, I'm not saying not be about who or what you are and where you come from, but for me, I have to be careful with taking that type of stance because with the route in which I'm going, I can't have that type of mindset and it could be frowned badly upon me.
No,
So
I totally get that. I get it.
it's
Um,
just one of those things in the profession, I guess from an HR perspective, which is my background, I have that
sing.
unbiased vision. I just
No, you said background. I just said singing in the background.
I just have to have that people, not color vision.
Right.
And because that color thing can get you in trouble. Next thing you know, you be looking for a job, and what's gonna happen? Somebody that was another race just made you lose your job because you were about your people, and you just had to let the world know you could lose your job like that, depending on what you do for a living.
Yeah, but it's all well. I think it's all about balance. I mean, I can be, I can be exclusive and be inclusive at the same time. Um,
Some places don't see that as being sufficient. some places of business do not see that as being sufficient.
Well, I mean, but you could say that, but the evidence still stands that it's even done to us in that regard. It's like, we accept it here, but we're still not accepted here. We're still fighting to get, um, and just as simple as the Black Lives Matter kind of movement. Why do we even have to say that? Why did that even have to be a thing?
I'm not saying I disagree with you.
Well, I'm just
I
saying.
said what I said kind of thing.
Whatever.
Because
I
I'm
keep
just saying, like, if you want to keep,
no, but
huh?
no, I was doing a Nini. Like I
Oh,
said, we keep each other,
I'm
but
just saying, I'm not saying that I disagree with you, but sending someone out with that mindset, someone can go to work and express that and lose their job tomorrow. So you have to be mindful,
yeah,
no matter what you believe, and not let that.
right, right. But I mean, that's where the kind of code switching and conducting
Some
your
people don't know that though.
yeah.
Some people do not. Look around you. Look at the environment in which we're speaking on. People don't know anything about a code or a switch.
Mm, well, I mean, that's why you should want to educate yourself in
I agree with you,
first
but
of all, knowing what it is and how to utilize it to get prime example. I'm sure tons of civil rights leaders from Martin Luther King to others have code switched to get um, certain things to push their agenda. And it's the same thing. It's just we need to focus on ourselves to get a plan first and foremost. Get a plan. Then you can venture out and be more inclusive so you could push your agenda forward. That's all I'm saying. I'm really not saying like, that whole
that's
we
what
just don't have this nation right
uh,
here.
I get you,
I'm not
but the
saying
way
that,
it's being
but
projected, people can't.
well,
Everyone isn't just an
okay.
expert at code switching.
Well, if it's if it's projected that way, you see my email. If you want to have a conversation, you are more than welcome to have a conversation, and we
But
can
it's too
convert.
late.
What's too
It's
late?
too late.
It's never too late.
Yeah, it is. It is because you don't
No,
know who's watching you, and you could discourage your viewers and just subscribers because they may not look like you, and they may not be anything close to what you are, and you want to
Well,
be inclusive with
well,
everyone.
but then too, and that's perfectly fine. But you have to see that there is an issue. I don't have an issue with it being with anyone
No
being that.
one's not saying that there's not an issue, but I'm saying that you are creating the issue by projecting it like that.
How am I creating an issue that's already here?
Okay.
No,
We're
no,
not going to agree. We're just not going to agree. I already said the answer to your question. We're just not going to agree. But you do your thing. Hold
right.
on, I'm missing. I'm looking. I missed the comment. Black people naturally include others. Our ancestors proved that we traded. Listen, I'm not here arguing what isn't and what is been done. I'm just saying that from a perspective of a corporate perspective, how things have to be handled. I'm just saying, yeah, I get it, but again, you can, hey, Lady T, you can handle it however you want to handle it. I'm not saying it, but I'm just saying for me, in the stance that I have to take with where I'm going with my professional life, I have to be careful how I handle things like that because I'm not going to let my mouth stop me from getting where I want to be because I want to be so opinionated. I'm not going to do that.
But yeah, I get that. I get it. I get it. I get it. Hello.
But again, I'm not saying that what Cap is saying is wrong. Of course, that's true too, because you can't deny the history and you can't deny that's what's been said. But it's just a tough situation. It's a tough thing to have lived through, to have gone through, to have over your head, to have in the back of your mind on any regard. We shouldn't even have to operate like this. This shouldn't even be a topic of discussion. But just because it is doesn't mean that you be ignorant in your stance toward it.
But mm,
Listen, oh goodness gracious.
So on part two of this whole discussion, anyway, ladies and
Mm, mm,
gentlemen,
mm, mm.
we have come to an hour and a good old 32 minutes of this great, beautiful discussion, open forum, debate.
Yeah. And let me be clear. I appreciate everyone's opinion and everyone's thought process, but we just because other people do things a certain way doesn't mean that you need to do it and counteract it the same way. There are ways of going about change and implementing change that doesn't require being handled a certain way. And what that looks like is going to depend on where you stand and what you're trying to change and how you feel. But we need to be, just because someone else can be uncool doesn't mean that we need to do the same thing. We need to take an educated stance in our approach to things because have we not heard enough? So we don't need to, well, you did this and these people did this, so I'm going to do, and I'm going to feel how I can't change how you feel. I'm just trying to, in the world, if you know that the world is like it is and it's not going to change overnight, you need to find a way to function in your feelings, in your thoughts, in your beliefs, and in the way that things need to be.
Right.
Because again, you still have to survive in this world that is unjust.
Right.
So you still need to go to work. You're still going to have superiors that don't look like you. You're
Right.
still going to have to deal with things that are going to be biased in some way. You need to know how to deal with it and educate yourself on that before you go trying to take action. Because standing for action, you don't have the platform to stand on, can leave you piss poor and broke.
Ish. We can leave you something. How? But yes, that is.
Because they will bounce you up out of those places from an HR perspective, saying that there are little codes. If you know anything about HR, there are little things that you can't see that can be placed upon you. You will be without a job and you will not be able to be rehired again.
Mm,
So that's all I'm saying. And if you have a professional license, if that goes against you, oh, you're done. So you got to be careful
yep.
when exactly learning to play the game. But see, Nate, some people don't know how to play the game. They just want to stand tough in what they believe, and
Oh,
that's why so many people can't get progression in their lives.
right. Yeah, no, definitely.
Because some people ain't nobody. She ain't gonna talk to me like that. She a different race. She looking down on me. I ain't having that. Okay. Well, now you lost your job. Now what? So she's still a racist, even though you're upset with her. But now you lost your job. So guess who won?
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. Stuff like that. It's bigger than just the what you feel and what somebody did to
Oh,
you.
yeah,
You
of
have to
course.
be strategic. But
Of course.
I can see from the commentary that some people are not as strategic as they need to be, and that's a strategy that we have to learn.
Mm,
That's right, Nate. Things do come with age,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
we're living in a time where we don't really have time for the age to come. We need to learn it now.
Mm, very true. Alrighty.
So but thank you, everyone. It's been interesting. The difference of opinion gives us a platform to stand on and a
Definitely.
space to speak from, and knowing what we need to speak on sometimes. Because if you can't get education anywhere else, you might as well come on here and get it from us.
I mean, everybody
So,
else does.
hey, Miss T.
Hey,
So, that's all I'm really saying is that we just want to try to make people more well-rounded versus one-sided or one-track mind, just hoping that you guys are learning code switching with what we're going through, because as you can see, Cap and I we don't disagree all the time, but we don't always have a mesh. And this is how we grow. And I hope that other people grow from us and how we mesh and how we don't mesh, because
right,
it's growth in it.
right, right, right. It definitely is. Everybody can't always be a yes person.
No,
And
because I'm not.
if you got too many yes people, you might want to check
Yeah.
you might want to check it.
Thank you, Nate. We really do appreciate the support. We
Yeah,
thank you
definitely.
because you always have good additions, among many others. But since you made the comment, I'm directing it to you.
This dude says
Yeah.
awesome.
Thanks, Andrea. It's that's
Andrew.
what it's about. That's what I'm trying to get to people to see is to be mature in your
Mhm.
stance. There's nothing wrong with standing up for who and what you believe in, but you have to be
Right,
smart and you have to be mature. And everything doesn't have to be a knockdown, drag out kind of thing.
right, right,
It's a clean way. You actually solve more when you do it clean than when you try to be dirty.
right, right. So yes, always keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Here you go
mature
putting these things
disagreements.
up, flip flopping them like that, huh?
I said mature disagreements. Well, I try to make sure everybody.
Everybody's thing don't need to be up there. I'm like saying it go.
Well, as fast as it's going on this end. But anyway, that's it. I think that's
See,
it. I got everybody. Don't worry.
but
Did it make you a little dizzy? That's what it
yeah, a little nauseous, a little dizzy. Got some upchuck sitting in the back of my throat.
We ain't even gonna talk about that. I ain't even gonna touch it. But there was a joke sitting right.
You said what?
I said there was a joke sitting right on the tip of my tongue, but I'm not.
Yeah, don't. Mm-mm.
We had a great discussion. Thank you all for stopping by. You're always greatly appreciated. Please take a moment. Any content creators in the room, please put a 1 in the chat, and or because you can't even do that anymore. I don't think.
What's that?
Where you could click on the person and then go to their page.
I was never able to do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in the chat, I was never able to do that. I always had to go on and type them in.
Okay.
But that's just it could just be a me thing, but I was never
Oh
able
no,
to do
yeah.
that.
Now you can because you used to be able to just click on them and then go to their page. But
Hmm.
fortunately, you cannot. But however, please, any content creators in the room, please put a 1 in the chat. And please, anybody, any other people who like to, watch everybody and like dialogue and like to learn and grow. There's some great content creators in there. We have Miss T Velocity. She's definitely gives it to you straight. It's almost like sometimes it's like taking a stiff drink a little bit. Like, ooh,
Ye-
it was
yeah,
a little
on
sharp, but
yeah, on the
yeah,
rocks.
so good. Right. Yeah, right. No chaser. Official D Spot, he's in here or was in here. He's pretty
It's
cool.
been a
You should check
while.
him out. And if anybody doesn't know, that was the young man who went to pick up or help Rico in his situation, which
Mm.
I thought was really, really cool. Lady T, um, great. And she's doing like tarot card reading and stuff now.
Oh, really?
Doing all that. Yeah. So, and she does graphic arts as
Yeah, I
well.
know that part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So she's doing the tarot card thing too. And I'm like, oh, but I always miss it.
Well, Miss T, it's all love. It's all love. It's all love. It's not that.
No, it's good. It's not bad.
We're just saying that,
It is sharp though. Sometimes it is sharp. It's
listen,
like a
he
stiff
he
drink.
cleaned it up and then dirtied it up again. Miss T, ignore him. Just know that we appreciate you and what you
Wholehearted.
do. Thank you.
What? How did I dirty it up? It is. It's like I like it. It's very refreshing. Sometimes you gotta have somebody just tell you how it is, and that's it. Like
Yeah,
you messing up, you messing up. That's it. I don't need.
yeah.
Well, sometimes.
Hey Tiana, well, take care in the ER. We appreciate you listening. I hope everything's going well for you on your shift, considering the lay of the land.
And thank you so much for what you do
Yes.
every day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There's certainly I understand what I kept saying. Yeah, it is. Like See, you understand. Anyway,
I never said that
I know, I know, I know. I'm messing.
I know.
And I love you too. Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, I can imagine it is. I know you have some stories that are gonna stick with you for the rest of your life. But
Right.
it's gonna make you stronger because believe it that this will be over at some point.
Yeah.
So it's only going to strengthen your resume.
And it will definitely be a great testimony and a testament to uh, yeah, definitely. Definitely, definitely.
Yep. And when it's over, because I'm sure you guys can't take any time off right now, Tiana. But when it's
Right.
over, please
Take
take
a
yourself some
vacation.
time off, even if you don't go anywhere
Right.
because things aren't
Right.
clear. But take
Right.
some time off and regroup, please.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah, I try not to, Tiana. I've been doing a lot of online shopping and delivery, and only going out for necessities. It's just the air just doesn't even feel right. It feels eerie. It feels, oh
Yeah.
my gosh,
Mhm.
it's freaky.
Right. Like
It's
I've never
freaky.
been one to if it was raining, not like ooh, but now it's like everything makes you a bit like, is it in the rain?
Well, see, I was thinking the other way around. I was like, I'm glad it's raining because it might be clearing up some stuff
That
and
too,
some
yeah,
pollution.
that too.
Yeah, I'm sure you are, Tiana. It's a lot of people are probably just, but you can try to bring some joy. I
Right.
know it's hard, but you can try to bring some joy to the people in whatever way you can.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about your personality, which is not a bad thing, but whatever your personality is, just try to bring them some joy and speak some encouraging words. They'll remember you. They'll appreciate you. They won't maybe remember your name, but they will always remember you. Trust me, I still remember some of the nurses from some of my loved ones who have passed on
Hmm.
and their health professionals.
Right.
So,
Right.
you
Very true.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, me too, Lady T. I was thankful for it.
Hmm.
It was soothing, number one, but it just made me feel like we were.
It was wrenching. It was wrenching, wrenching off some of this Rona. Yeah.
Okay. You should. Well, I'm gonna definitely have to
Okay.
subscribe to you
Cool.
because this is the first time that I've seen you. But
Yeah, me too.
um,
Me too.
if you do perfume, if you don't do cologne, I'm a cologne freak. You should see my collection. So if you don't do cologne, it's something that you should venture off into because I know a few people who would love it. But I still watch
Right.
for the perfume because I do have lady friends.
Lady friends. Like, oh, that's a nice gift for my lady friend.
Yeah. Wrench and shit.
Yeah.
Exactly, Lady T. Wrench around and wrench off.
Okay. Okay. Brother J always be helping people in the chat. But this is your first time here on. This is your first time here on my channel. Yeah, Sachi is amazing.
Yeah, I can bet that compassion fatigue is becoming a
I remember you.
major issue, but don't get too tired with having compassion because it's still necessary,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
it is. It
And
is.
I know it's easier said than done, but
You,
trust me, I'm with you on the compassion fatigue.
yeah.
Um,
Sometimes it's sad and unfortunate, but you may be that only that lad that person that person may see. The last
yeah,
person that
yeah,
person may see. So, um, and your warmth and kindness could mean a great deal. So,
yeah. You know,
ooh, that's
a
heavy.
lot of people lose sight of. Hmm?
No, I said that's heavy,
Oh
heavy.
yeah, a lot of people lose sight of the fact that how many lives you can touch in a profession such as healthcare. I
Right.
don't deal in the clinical side anymore, but when I did, so many lives. I saw so many people,
Mm,
even to the point where I watched this lady go from being perfectly healthy to being into the ICU, and the one day I went down to the morgue to do some thoughts in my job, and she was down there, and those things you just kind of you take a blow,
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of stuff. So I understand about the compassion fatigue, but we are placed in these professions that we are in for a reason. So try to hold on. Yeah, I'm sure.
Hmm.
I'm sure if you drink wine or whatever you drink, sometimes you might need to do that. Take yourself a nice bath, talk to some people. You might need to let out get a drinking partner and let out some of that stuff you've seen throughout the day
Hmm.
at work. You know what I mean? Because you're going to go back for another shift and it's going to happen again.
Right.
But the craziest thing about it is that each person deserves and needs that same TLC from you as if you've never dealt with it before. So it is hard to decompress, but please, it's so necessary. And if it's necessary for you to go to your job and get their employee health plan thing, it's called, I forgot what it's called. I always forget. It's SAP or something where you can talk to people. Do that, or even maybe go and see a therapist or something. You know what I mean? Because you might need to really recompose yourself after all of this. Okay, you're welcome, Tiana. You're welcome. I hope everything goes well from you. We're here every week Tuesday to do this at least. So come on back.
Mhm.
This is what we do here.
Yep, this is definitely what we do every Tuesday.
Thanks,
All
Lindsay. EAP. Yes.
yeah,
And Patty do.
alrighty, everyone. Well, it is about that time. It's been great.
Yes.
Been here for an hour and change. But thank you. It's always a pleasure to have every single one of you and the insight and the just everything that you all bring. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Have a great night. God bless.
And stay strong.
Yes.
Keep your head straight when you're out here. Stay strong. Hold on. Okay? It's gonna be good.
Mm-hmm. All right. Peace.
See ya.